Hey everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sammy for those of you who are new. I am the owner of Strength by Sammy, which is a women's health coaching company, and I'm a registered dietitian. Today's episode is going to be all about me going through the week, 13 weeks out from stage. Each day, I'm going to give a little bit of insight into what goes into tracking my macros, getting my workouts in, getting cardio in, and hitting my step count, on top of posing practice, definitely sharing some of the struggles I faced during prep as well as some of the wins, and then giving a little update each day on how well my tracking is going. Doing this to kind of just show you guys, of course, like what goes into a prep, but also kind of to hold myself a little bit more accountable. Things have been just so busy with work and then kind of transitioning from being a student to now working full time. I just need an extra push going into this stage. So a lot has changed since my last update on my prep. For example, I am now up to 6 days of in the gym per week. I am doing still a 3-day lower body split with 2 upper body days, and then 1 ab day in addition to an extra cardio day. So I'm hitting lifting 5 days a week, 1 day of abs, and then 6 days of cardio, about 20 minutes, just cycling very low intensity, steady state cardio. On top of that, I am hitting 12,000 steps per day. I don't remember if I was already doing that or not yet, but that is definitely a challenge. I have to walk way more than I walk in a typical day, which leads to a lot of late night walking, which you guys will see. And then in addition to that, I've also cut down on my calories. So I'm still at 140 grams of protein. That's going to stay very stable going into stage. Maybe a small drop to like 130, but it's still going to stay high with the intention of keeping on as much lean body mass as possible while dropping body fat. I had a big drop in carbs to about 260. I was around 300 to 350 before. And then now my fat is at about 60 grams per day. So starting this video with my Sunday, I had a leg day today, which was my last one of the week. I am not going to lie, I was feeling very sore during this workout. I didn't want to hit legs, but I knew I had to get it in. So I showed up and I took a little extra time to stretch, something you really have to do and prioritize going into a show. As you overtrain your body and as your calories get lower, you're going to need to take the time to recover and warm up way more than you would need to for like a typical routine. That being said, when I show up on days I really don't want to be there, I do one of two things. I either one, take enough pre-workout to just really push through that workout, or two, just pull back to about 60% of like my total max intensity. That allows me to still get a good workout in, but it doesn't push me to the point where like my joints and my ankles and my tendons all start to hurt, which does happen with overtraining and under recovery. As I said earlier, I'm going to be as upfront as possible with this prep. Therefore, I'm sharing that bodybuilding itself is not a very healthy sport. When I step on stage, I am the most fatigued, malnourished, tired, weakest you will ever see me. That being said, I'm still 13 weeks out. So I'm nowhere near that level of fatigue yet. One big change I made this week is switching to mostly like lean meats and not red meat, because red meat has a lot of fat. So I'm focusing mostly on ground turkey and chicken tenders. So my ground turkey is about 94 to 93% lean. And then I'm also doing egg whites, really eliminating as much animal fat as possible. Some staple condiments for me during prep are sugar-free ketchup, sugar-free maple syrup, and sugar-free barbecue sauce. They go good on everything and are pretty low calorie. I am not gonna lie right now, I did not want to get my workout in today. Definitely didn't want to get my steps. As you can see, it's starting to get really late out. I think it's like 7:30 and I still have about 5,000 steps more to go. Today, I unfortunately did not plan accordingly. I recently moved into my boyfriend's house, so we did a really big moving day, like just moving some of my furniture in, unpacking stuff, cleaning up different areas. So that's definitely taken a lot of my time lately. I also did some rearranging at my studio, some equipment that I kind of didn't really need anymore. So unfortunately that took up a total of probably like 3 or 4 hours out of my day. And then my gym routine took about 2 hours. So not a ton of time for steps. Therefore, getting them in now, got my meal prep going for the week, gonna track when I get back and hopefully be on target going into Monday. So I just got ready for bed. I did end up hitting macros perfect to a T, gotten all of my steps. However, I am going to bed a little later than I would like.
Getting a full 8 to 9 hours of sleep is super important, especially on prep when your body is already kind of under recovering. So I'm gonna hit the hay for tonight and make sure I get sleep as a priority tomorrow. We'll be sharing all the highlights tomorrow, what I struggle with, etc. Have a good night.
So I just got back to train my evening clients. I already had morning clients this morning. I then hit the gym, which unfortunately I didn't have time to film anything. I did an upper body day with some cardio. I'm at about 6,000 steps. Hopefully I'll get to at least 10,000 at work. If not, the first thing I'm going to do when I get home is get in a walk. I brought 2 chicken wraps with me. There's about 2.5 ounces of chicken in each wrap. And then I'm eating the Carb Balance wraps. I think they're like 60 calories. I'll look it up and I'll share it on this screen. But they're not bad. They're really easy for me to eat, especially while I'm at work. Good finger food, which saves me when I'm working a long day with a bunch of clients.
So I just got home from work, and for some reason I was living in a fantasy world and thought I could get like 2,000 steps at work. However, I somehow started at 6,000 and ended at 6,600. So I have 6,000 steps, well, 5,500 or something like that, more to go. So I'm going to go for a walk. I honestly think my Apple Watch may be broken because I don't understand how I just worked for like 3.5 hours, but only accumulated 500 steps. Not to mention one of my clients brought her son, and we were playing like kickball the entire time. So I don't know, but I have a lot of steps to get in. So I finished up my steps. I went for about a 15-minute walk to get my extra like 5,500 steps in. I just kind of like washed my face, got ready for bed, and now I'm eating a little pizza and then potatoes with ground turkey to hit the rest of my macros. I might shock you that I'm eating pizza. However, this was a frozen pizza, something I can completely track accurately. It fits into my macros. I'm hitting my macros to a T again tonight. And I don't really like to restrict myself. I think that's a misconception. People will eat the chicken broccoli rice diet when they are in prep or when they're trying to cut. This is not necessary. I am pretty far out right now, so I will allow myself more leniency. When I get closer, I don't want to say stricter, but I do reduce things like frozen pizzas or like other fun foods is like what I like to call them. However, it keeps my prep manageable when I can include foods that I like to eat. It's more about the portion size. So for example, I had 2 slices tonight, but when my calories get really low, I might only have 1, and that might be like once a week. Luckily, I don't have a 5 a.m. wake up call tomorrow, 6 a.m., so I get to sleep in. I will hopefully be getting a full 8 hours of sleep. I was a little preoccupied today with some drama going on and whatnot with the industry I compete in. I kind of conflicted. I'm not going to take too much time on this because I don't even know how I feel, so I can't really share that right now. However, right now I'm just going to focus on getting in my prep, doing what I gotta do, and going from there. So have a good night. I will do a better check-in tomorrow and hopefully film some of my leg day. And that's it for Sunday. So today is flying by. I am luckily already at 7,000 steps. I went for like an hour-long walk with my boyfriend once I got home from my morning clients. I'm pretty close right now on macros. I did eat some ice cream, I'm not gonna lie. I was just craving it today, but it fit my macros perfect, so no concerns there. I am now on my way to go to the gym. I'm gonna hit a leg day and then I'm gonna do cardio, and then I have to rush right back to work. Unfortunately, time just got the best of me. I was really working on some new branding I am doing with the new services I'm offering. So unfortunately, I wanted to give myself a full 2 hours at the gym. I'm giving myself about an hour and a half, so I should be able to get everything in. Just a little snippet of my leg day. I started off with some hack squats, working mostly on like a pyramid style. So I kind of start with a higher rep range and slowly decrease my reps. As the reps go down, weight goes up. Followed by a leg press, similar style of training. As you can see, I don't go all the way to my chest with my knees. This is because if I go that low, my spine will round and I'll start to use my lower back. A lot of people think the leg press is completely safe from lower back pain or injury. However, if you're going so deep to the point where your lower back is rounding, that is not recommended and you could be putting your back in a vulnerable position.
So I just got back to my studio. I had one of my chicken wraps I brought with me because I had to pack lunch, or I guess dinner, head to the gym, get my workout in, and then kind of head right back to work. So I'm working right now, waiting for my next client. What I wanted to mention is that when I do cardio at the gym, I have to take my Apple Watch off because those steps don't count. So if I'm choosing to do an exercise that will count my steps, sometimes the cycling machine does count my steps if I'm moving a lot. So I take my watch off so that I don't have to backtrack those steps. Unfortunately, obviously that makes my steps take a lot longer to get, but it's more accurate when trying to figure out roughly how many calories I'm burning. So I've definitely been slacking on sending over updates to my coach. So I'm going to do some updates right now. I'm going to get some physical measurements. I'm going to get my weight, get my body fat. When I get home, I'll take some progress photos, and then I will get all this back to my coach. So my weight is about 124.6. Last week, I was about 125.6. And then my starting weight before this cut was about 128, 129. I did get up to 130, but I didn't stay there very long. I've pretty much been in a cut phase for only really I want to say 2 weeks. I have been doing my higher step count and then a little bit of cardio, I think 3 weeks now, but my deficit has only been 2 weeks. So we're getting some good changes here. 3 to 2 pounds, not bad at all. We're looking for trending down, but specifically we want body fat to go down. Now, my handheld thing is not the most accurate, but it's consistent. So it did have me roughly at 20 to 21% body fat. I'm probably not 20 to 21% body fat, but that's okay. I'm just looking for this to be trending down. So pretty much all I'm doing is inputting my measurements. So I'm about 5'2". Like I said, I'm 124. What did I just say? 124.6? Yeah, 0.6. So I'm putting 124.5. I'm 26. And then I am a female. So now I'll just hold it, kind of just have thumbs up, start, and we'll see what my body fat is at. So it is down a little bit. It's 20.6. I was 21 point something last week, but I will say it is very dependent on your water intake and your hydration status. So I use that one with a grain of salt. My physical measurements I use much more religiously, and my photos. So for myself, I really only do 3 big measurements. I used to also include my delts, but my delts are kind of where I want them to be. I'm not really looking for too much growth there. So first thing is my waist. Now I'm going to go by the smallest part of my waist because that's just consistent from where I always measure it. I'm at about, I would say 28.2. I'm going to go with 28.2. Down a little bit, I was about 28.5. last week. Now, this is the depressing one for me because all I ever want in life is bigger glutes. So when I measure my glutes and they go down as I get closer to stage, I get very sad about that. So I was about 38.5. I'm still sitting at about 38.5. So no loss with my glutes, even though I've had about a 3-pound drop. And this is my goal. So a lot of people talk about how they lose their butt during competition prep. If you lose your butt during competition prep, you never built the muscle to begin with, because if you're dropping body fat, the muscle will be staying behind. So you didn't put the work in, and I've been there, so I can say this. You didn't put the work in to have the glutes to step on stage. Therefore, what your butt was fat. I have been training glutes for years. I have gained, I think, almost 10 inches from when I started. I'll put a picture up here so you guys can really see where I started with my glutes and how far I've come. And then my last measurement, which I always do wrong, is my quads, because I try to go from the widest angle, the widest circumference of my leg. And I think I was about 22.5 last time. Look like 22 point, I would say 22.4. So a little bit down. I can tell I'm definitely a little bit down. I definitely have been feeling smaller, but clearly I might just be wrong. Now, this leg is typically smaller. It's my weaker leg. Yeah, so this one's like 22 even. 22 even, 22.4. I have an imbalance there. It's something I've been working on. So I'm really happy right now because I didn't feel like I was trending in the right direction. I will share I'm about to be on my period like in 2 to 3 days. So I'm feeling very bloated. I'm feeling very weak. I am not feeling up to par. So to see measurements going the direction I want, body fat going the direction I want, body weight to go where I want, I really am excited to get home and take some progress photos and then compare them to last week or actually 2 weeks ago now and send them over to my coach. So I'll put those up for you guys so you can really see what 2 weeks of progress is looking like, and then kind of trickling down. I will share with you week in week how my body changes, because in a competition prep, it's such a strict regimen. Your body will change on a weekly basis.
So really, really, really do not want to be walking right now. I got home at like 7:30 from work. I still need to eat dinner. I'm pretty hungry. I need a shower from getting home from work and the gym and everything. And I still am about 3,000 steps low. So hence why I'm walking right now. When I'll get home, I'm going to have my last dinner. I'll screenshot and share right here what I had for the day, like my macros. And then I'm not going to get my progress photos in. And this is why I've been really bad about them. I've just been postponing them because I get home so late and I don't like to take them in bad lighting because it's not really accurate. So I'm going to try to take them tomorrow when I get home from my first wave of clients. So hopefully around noon, I'll be able to get them. A pretty long day tomorrow. But yeah, to recap, steps are kind of really the biggest pain in my ass right now. I'm not going to lie, but that's why I'm here. I'm getting them in, getting them done. Clearly I'm getting the results I want, but it's kind of annoying. And unfortunately, that's a whole bunch of part of prep. It's about being disciplined, about doing it because you have to. And yeah.
So, a little surprised with this one, but actually, happy Thursday. For some reason, all of the content I filmed for you guys yesterday was silent. I think it was because I was filming through my phone audio while I was in my car a lot, and therefore the microphone just did not connect. So, I'm just going to give you an overview for Wednesday. Pretty much Wednesday was a rest day. I did hit my 12,000 steps. I went for a very long late night walk, unfortunately, to make up about 5,000 steps. I'm going to share right here what my macros for the day ended up being. So pretty much right on target. Like I said, rest day. That being said, I am going to have to make up for taking a rest day in the middle of the week by training Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So the weekend ahead is going to be very busy and lots of activity. I did finally get some progress photos yesterday, which has been a long time coming. I'm going to share them right here with you guys. Honestly, looking at my photos, I don't see much of a difference in my frontward facing photo, the one on my left. So I think your right is me 2 weeks ago. And then the other one is me today. I'm wearing the exact same outfit in the exact same position. I'm not seeing a lot of a change, but I do think this is because I am about to get my period like today. So I think I'm holding a little bit more water. I do feel a bit more bloated. Therefore, I'm not seeing too many differences. Looking at the backwards photo, so this one is going to be the opposite. The one closest to me is the newest photo, and the one on the other side on my right is going to be from 2 weeks ago. I am seeing a tiny bit more definition in like my glute area, and I do think a little bit more in my legs. But again, this is just the very beginning of my cut, so it does take me a little bit to start seeing those results. In general, with the calorie changes, I do feel a lot leaner in my stomach, even though in the photos it doesn't really look too much different. I know the inches in my stomach did go down, but in general, I'm not like eating to the point of fullness, which is usually what I have to do in a bulk. So just in general, I feel less bloated. I feel like my pants are starting to fit a tiny bit looser. So very small changes, but all steps in the right direction. I'm not going to film my full day today so I can get this video posted, but today's plan is to hit legs after I get out of work. I have a few meetings and a few clients this morning. I also plan on getting my macros to a T, which has been pretty perfect, but I do have a call with my coach later tonight. So I do think there's going to be a big drop in calories going into my show, but this is for a few reasons. One, there's been a lot of controversy with the organization I compete with. I have mentioned this before. I'm not doing a formal statement until I speak to my coach, but I already kind of know what direction I want to go. That being said, I'm probably going to be changing the date of the show that I'm competing at. And unfortunately, it's most likely going to be moved up by 2 weeks. Therefore, I am losing 2 weeks of my prep. And that is why I do think things are going to have to get a bit stricter sooner than I would have liked. As a whole, this week honestly was pretty much a win. I hit steps every day, hit macros almost to a T every day. In the beginning of the week, sleep was not the best, but I'm up to about an 80, 85 sleep score. If you have an Aura ring, it tracks your sleep. So my sleep has improved. I started with like a 60 on Monday. So I was like, okay, this needs to stop. Thanks for watching. If you guys have any questions, want to leave comments, want me to dive into a topic a little bit deeper, please let me know. Also, please subscribe. Thank you so much again for watching, and stay tuned next week for another episode with some more updates.